this is Tina. Welcome to my video today, you guys. I wanted to share with you this project kit. So this is a card kit. It's in the holiday catalog, and I haven't wanted to dive into it till we were a little bit closer to Christmas. So now I'm in full Christmas mode, and so I thought I would dive into the kit. You get the you can purchase these separate. So I've had this stamp set for a while, and I've actually used it on quite a few projects. So if you're just interested in the stamp set, you don't have to get the card kit, which is really nice. I like it when they do them separate, like when you can get them separate, just in case you're not into kits. So this is the card kit, and I thought I would open it up and we could look at it together, and then I could put some of these together for you. This is the stitched kit, and I love anything stitched. So anything that has the faux stitching or makes it easy to do stitching, I'm all over. So with all of the kits, you're gonna get all of these pieces. I'll pop them out and make a pile. You get envelopes, which I love that you get the craft envelopes. I'm really into using craft this year for this Christmas season. I don't know what it is. I haven't done that in the past, but I'm really drawn to it this year. I just got a whole bunch of 12 by 12 craft cardstock, and I've been using that. So then you get the card bases, and you're going to get some white and some craft, and you're going to notice that there's already holes that you have to punch out within these card designs. So I'm just punching some out just to show you guys. But then you can see that there are those little holes. So there's this design here. Let's look at the designs. And this is in Mint Macaroon, which I love that color, and I love the snowflake. That's super pretty. And you guys know that I will probably do a little bit of my own thing when it comes to the cards. I always like to kind of mix it up and do a little bit of my own thing. This is like a snowy background, so it just has like some white dots on there. Then there's this design right here, which this pattern is then repeated in this stamp right here. So if you liked that pattern on that card, you could totally do it again by just using the stamp set. Then there's some smaller, oh, these are envelope liners. No smaller cards, but these are envelope liners that will go right in, which I love. I love when kits include that because I love envelope liners. Hey guys, I'm back, and you're really zoomed out because I want you to see all of my workspace so you can kind of see what I've done. So I've punched everything out, and you can see I have piles, which is usually what I do when I have a kit. So everything is just in piles, and that's all up here. And then I've done the envelopes, and then I have some piles of stuff over here. So let me zoom in, and I'm gonna show you the envelopes and then my other piles for the cards. So these are how the envelopes turned out. These are really pretty, you guys. So what I did, I think there's a few different designs. Is there? Yes. See, there's this red, and then there's this green, and then there's this one. So what I did, I wanted to show you this tip. So I went ahead and I dropped all of my liners in the envelope by just pressing them into the envelope. Then they were all piled up just like this. Then I went through and I just added a little dab of adhesive right here, and I pressed that down. Now you can see it still lifts up a little bit. The idea is not that it's completely pressed down, just that it is there tacked down and it's gonna stay in the same place. So then there's already a score line on the envelope right there. So I just turn it over, I fold it, and then I grab my bone folder and I give it a nice good crease. That's gonna allow your flap to stay down instead of popping up. So let me show you what I've done. So I've piled some things up. This kit, it can be a little bit tedious because there's the stitching. So what I suggest that you do is that you do each design all the same cards at once. So the first thing I did is after I got all of my piles at where I needed them to be, like everything punched out up here in piles, then I took and I stamped everything. So you can see that I've stamped all of these already. I stamped all of these, And then I stamped all of these. So do all of your stamping at once. And it's this one right here. Now in the instructions, it shows to use this baker's twine, which is this white with the gold in it, for this card. But I really just wanted to use the gold. So instead I just used the gold. Show you how this works. I have all of these done. You can see. So I did all the stitching at once. That's the next thing. So I stamped everything and then set that with my piles. Then I jumped into the stitching. So this is how the stitching works, and then we'll put together the cards. And I'm not gonna stitch every single card on camera. I'm gonna give you an idea of how it works, and then you guys can, it's really super simple. Okay. So I'm a visual learner, so that's why I'm showing you guys this on camera. The instructions show you how to do this, but I'd much rather see a video. That's how I prefer to learn. So you have this piece right here, and it has this like wire piece at the end. You slip that through your needle, just like this. So you can see that piece is through your needle. Then you take your thread, whichever one you're using, you slip that through the end piece here, this really tiny metal piece right here, okay? And you give it a pretty good loop. Like, see, that's quite a bit. Then you just pull that thread right through your needle. And then you can adjust. I always go a little bit out. Don't pull it all the way to the edge. You want a little bit hanging out so that it doesn't come off the thread. So you're gonna start by coming up through the card. And then what I do is I just pull it all the way through, and then I put a little bit of Scotch tape. That's the easiest way to do it. It doesn't matter if you cover up a hole because you can just poke right through it. When I'm all done, I just double check to make sure everything's pulled tight. Then I just take another piece of tape and I put that right over there, and then you can trim it. So you still get quite a bit of thread left even after you've done this. Even when I used more thread than probably I needed to, I still had a ton left over. I'll probably just use this gold thread for all of my cards. Okay, so the next part of this card is going to be this right here. And you can see that now I have all of these done. So now that I've done all of the stitching, then I can go back and put all of these pieces down right here. The very next card that we're going to work on is going to be this one that looks like this. So what I did in the very beginning is I cut all of my burlap, so they're all in a pile here, and you end up having a lot of burlap left over. So that's really nice. I always like these kits that will leave you with some extra and you can play around with. Now for the stitching for this piece, you stitch all the way around, and you can see that I kind of messed up right here. Like I thought it was one clean stitch and it's two, so that's okay. I think it's totally fine. This was the hardest one to stitch. It takes the most time to stitch this. Again, I just used that gold. There's this item right here, which is what we stamped, and this card is the one that goes the quickest after you get those stars stitched. And you don't have to stitch the stars. I may not stitch all of my stars, just because it is a little bit more work. But then I used dimensionals to go right over that. And then there's these little holly leaves that go on this card. take these little enamel dots right there. And I think that's super pretty. It'll stay on there. It's smaller than the other one. So that's the next card. Or you can just leave it. This one doesn't have the holly leaf on there. So either way, you could use the holly leaves on another project. This card right here, which this one is my absolute favorite. And I thought that it was going to be the one that was more complicated, but it's really not. So what you'll need is these two items right here, and then your card base like this, and then you'll need these trees. And one design is smaller than the other one. So this is what you do. What I liked to do, this is what I found worked the best. You take the two trees together, you grab your needle with your thread on it. Well, let's grab the other needle that doesn't have any thread on it first, because you're going to poke all the holes in these trees. And you just want to leave them flat. Lined up and the holes are poked. Now this larger one is going to go on this side. And if they're a little bit off when you're doing this, it's okay because they line up once you start putting the thread through. So then that's how it's going to end up looking at the beginning. So let me do the other two trees and then I'll come back. Okay, so now we have all the stitching done and you can see that the trees kind of overlap each other. Now it would look super pretty just like this if you just did one tree on top and you did nothing else. But now, since you've done two trees, what you do is you grab the tree that's on top and you pinch it up with the thread. And then they overlap each other and it gives this really cool dimension. When it goes into an envelope, it will flatten out, but when it comes out, it will still have that little pop and you'll still be able to see that there is dimension. So the very last part you're going to do is this gold layer right here. We just add a little bit of adhesive to it. You can put it up in the corner here, and I just put a little bit of adhesive in the middle, and then that allows it to kind of still curl up a little bit and it gives it even more dimension. So then we're going to take the piece that we stamped on and we're going to add a couple dimensionals. This makes this card finished. And you could add a couple rhinestones on the edge here, or you could just leave it. You could add this piece right here to the middle if you wanted. It would look great in the middle. You could add little yellow stars to the tops of the trees. There's so much that you can do with this kit. And this is a kit that I really thought was going to be more complicated than what it turned out to be. It actually really is simple. And I love this stamp set for Christmas. It has great images. It has the snowflake. I love all the sentiments. Then it has the holly leaves and the little holly berries. It even has this handmade with love right here. The handmade with love, and then the heart and the stars. I just think it's really pretty. It's a great set to have for Christmas. So then the very last thing that you're going to do before you send these is you're going to take these little pieces here, and these are to go over the stitched part of the back of your card so that it hides all that stitching and that Scotch tape that you used. You just slide this right in here and place it in the middle. It'll go right over and then nobody will see that stitching. You pair this with one of the envelopes. I'll pair the trees with this envelope because it has that same design. I will pair the star card, this one, to this envelope so that it matches. And then this envelope will go with this card right here, and that will match. So I loved this kit, you guys. I will put a link down in the YouTube description where you can pick this kit up. All of the details are on my website. You can click right up here or down in the YouTube description, and it'll take you right over there. You'll see photos. You can pin them to Pinterest and check out the supply list. Pick any of these items up in my online store. Don't forget, you guys, we have the stitched dies that just came out. Use your host code, get your free kits and your free stamp set for me. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a fabulous week, and I'll be back tomorrow to share Project Life, my September layout with you guys, all of my September pages. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video today. I wanted to mention that I have a Black Friday sale happening in the next few weeks, and in order to get that information when that sale is happening, right down below in the YouTube description is a link to sign up to get my email, and that information for my Black Friday sale will happen before Black Friday, and it will go out to my email subscribers first. So make sure you sign up to get my emails. And then I have two other videos here for you guys. The first one is the copper embossed fall leaves card I did, and the second is the Stampin' Up Starlight card I did just a few days ago. You can check that out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will chat with you later.